Okay. So good evening, everybody. I think we are meeting after 2 weeks, probably, right? And you all had good, happy Diwali. You had it. And today we have holiday in Karnataka because we have Rajyotsava today. So anyway, every day is a good day. So today we will address about the different clairs meaning how we can, our senses, 5 Clair senses, and how do we develop them to become intuitive. This is what we are going to address today. Okay. So I will also do a short process, maybe 2 process, very short ones, to make you understand how each one of us are actually connected with these senses. Now, let it be very interactive. So you are all aware of 5 Clair senses, right? Right? Can somebody tell me which are those 5? Usually 4 are everybody knows, but there are some few more. So, okay, go ahead. Which are those?
Yeah, they're kinesthetic and vestibular senses also.
Actually, kinesthetic, all of those will.
Yeah, rotation of position of head, rotation, knowing the position of the body, those also come senses. Apart from touch, smell, sight, taste.
Correct. So, if you look at it, clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. Okay. So whatever is your intuitive power, you will kind of see it. It will be like, I am able to see things which are actually not physically present. That's what is clairvoyance. Clairvoyance can be easily confused with imagination. Having said that, there is nothing called imagination actually. Okay. So clairvoyance means clear seeing. Now, a lot of people like photographers, artists, builders, and designers, they're naturally clairvoyant. That's why they're good at those abilities. Okay. Now, the second one is clairaudience. So, auditory, which is you are able to clearly hear sounds like as if somebody called your name. I thought I heard somebody, is what we think. Everything is originating from the gut. Originating from the gut meaning something which is not physically present, you are able to sense it. These are the clairs actually, right? So usually this clairaudience is not like a long sentence like how I'm talking. They are not like that. They're either one word. Okay. They're one word. They're very short 2-word sentence. It could be like just names. And usually it'll be like you are thinking about something and the answer comes as if you heard. It's like that. Okay. So usually to get a long sentence means you have really progressed very well in your spiritual aspect. Otherwise, it's very difficult to actually hear a prolonged sentence like a conversation. Okay. And the third one is clairaudience. What is clairaudience? Okay. Clairaudience meaning, okay, auditory, clear hearing, which we just now thought. Most of the time, this clairaudience will be like, it comes through your, what you're thinking, meaning to say, let's assume you're thinking about some particular problem and you want to make a decision. If it is so, then you might hear one or two words related to that. You are thinking about, somebody spoke to you something about their problem and you're thinking about it. Then you may hear. Usually, if you do not focus, you cannot hear anything much. So it should have a context. The audience especially should have a context. Okay, otherwise it's very difficult. Then clairsentience. Clairsentience means clearly feeling something. What does that mean? When someone is present, you can feel what they're feeling. Or when someone has a physical pain, you can also feel their physical pain. And it suddenly happens. You are not even aware of it. Suddenly it happens and suddenly it pains. This is very well used by everybody in the family constellation. Do you all agree? The thoughts will come, you will get the pain as their pain. So if all of you have taken part in family constellation, then 100% you're all clairsentients. It's just that we doubt. Or we don't know that is what it is. Correct? Okay. Then clear smelling is there. Clair aliens or whatever they call that. So you can feel the smell. I remember when I was doing my clinical hypnotherapy, it was a level 4. And one of my very close friend, she's a very good therapist now, she was the demo there. And Yuvraj was doing the demo. And she was addressing a problem with her father. And then it was a closed room, okay? And there was nobody outside also in that hotel. And then once that is over, I also felt there were 2 other people who could very strongly feel the smoke, like as if someone was smoking. And then it was a very strong smoking smell. And then the demo person said that her father was a chain smoker. So it is like that. Sometimes whether you are aware of it or not, you sense it. It's like the frequencies or the FM station is running its song all the time. And you happen to gather it sometimes. That's because at that time, that particular sense was very high. And not all senses are high all the time for us. Even when you are breathing, one side of the nose is very good, and after some time, the other thing will become, right? When both actually balance and both are totally opened up, that is when your senses are very high. Correct? So none of our 5 senses are all the time at its highest of its ability. It's not. But sometimes it is high, sometimes it is low. And when it's high, you get that kind of an experience. And most of the 99% of the time, we don't believe it. I'm creating, I'm just imagining, is what we think. Clairgustance means tasting. Sometimes you get to feel the taste. That's very natural because when I talk, all of you imagine the pickle you love. Immediately the saliva comes, right? Why? Because it's a past experience. So gustance especially is when you are thinking some past related experiences, if that was involved with food and taste, it will come. But how that is related to intuition. When you are talking to somebody, when you're doing something, if you get that taste, then you will connect that to your past experience. So something like that experience might be there, or something related to that you might have to take the decision. It probably is indicating something which you want to avoid. So none of these clairs are straightforward to you. It is to be decoded, but they're giving you so much input. So do not expect it to be very clear, well-defined sentence or a speech or a visual thing to come and, dawn on our head and saying that, please do this. No, that's not it is. Okay? Next. Clair cognizance, meaning clearly knowing. It's a knowing part. This, most of the people will have this. It feels like, right? Oh yeah, I think that is right. I think I shouldn't do this. Every day in the morning when you're thinking about what breakfast to do that day, how do you get that? Are you shuffling some chits and picking up, okay, today is idli, I'll do idli. Is that like that? And then what is that? You have to question all of these things because that is exactly the intuition. And we are not making use of these. We take it for granted. There will be something like, oh, it's been a long time since I did this, or this breakfast is very easy, so I'll do it. Or you'll think that, okay, my husband likes it, I will do it. Or he always blames that I don't do it, so tomorrow I will do it. There'll be some things, no? Some things will make you take that decision, and that's what is intuition. Intuition is not totally unrelated, some information came to you from the sky. No. Intuition is your own self. A knowing, internal knowing, based on your situation, based on the question you're asking. That is intuition. Okay? So these are the 5 clairs. And these are the 5 senses which humans can understand. Or rather, on the earth, these are the 5 laws of life. So there are so many other energies which we cannot comprehend. We cannot do anything because we don't have those senses. Okay? Now, if that energy shows up itself among these, then we can connect to it. Now, if there is an energy which is much evolved than us, it can show itself us in any of the forms, in any of these forms which we can understand. That's why we say, no, God shows us to us in the form we can understand. Right? But is that the real form? No. That's shown to us in that form because that's the only thing we can understand. We can't even see if it's not in a form which we can see. Right? So intuition is going a little bit beyond the physical reality. The physical reality is I am seeing all of you here. Okay? So there are 14 people here. Can I see a 15th person here? If I'm able to see, then that is my intuitive, clairvoyant power. But again, that is image. So even in your senses, you have physical reality senses and you have clair senses, like body and mind. Correct? Am I making sense now? You have body and you have mind. Mind cannot be seen, mind cannot be touched, but mind does so much. Very same way, you have the actual reality seen by the 2 eyes, but there is this clairvoyant eye third eye, whatever you call it, which can see the unseen things. Everything is like that. Smell, Clair that. Hear, Clair that. So that is a spiritual aspect. Got it? Now, let's go with each of those, how probably you can improve those. Okay? Of course, we will find out that some people are very, very strong in one or two clairs. It doesn't mean that you can learn the other. You can develop the other. I'll give a normal example. You know analytical questions, right? I'll give an analytical question. Okay, there is a tank, and there is one tap on top, which is open. There's another tap below, and that is also open. So that is also draining the water, and the water is filling. Now, how long it will take for the entire tank to be empty? If anybody is telling how fast the top tap is this thing, how long it is, how fast the bottom thing is going, we can all find out. Use mathematics and find out. This is logic. This is analytical. Okay, now when I'm telling you, oh my gosh, this question, no, I don't want to solve this. Of course, we all feel that. But we can know, if somebody tells you this is how you figure it out, then you give me hundreds of tanks. I will tell you each tank how fast it will fill up or how far it will empty. It's possible for us to learn. Somebody should tell us how to do it. That's it. Same thing is with intuition. You can learn that. It is not, of course, it is a gift. Certain few clairs are gift for each of us, which we are strong at. But we can make it even more stronger, and we can learn the other things which we don't know. Okay, so let's see how. The first step. Can anybody tell me what could be the first step?
Awareness.
Believing it.
Okay.
The very first test is to believe it. Because we don't believe. We do not believe it at all when it comes to about our own self. We are scared that we may be wrong. We are scared because others will judge us. Okay, because many times you might have gone with that, but it did not go well with others around you, though it could be the truth. So you don't want to make any mistake. But when we are thinking about others, maybe we are very easy, cool to just say it. We do that in the family constellation. We just say it. And that gives them some kind of solution. But how about applying that to us? Now let's assume you have a problem in that. Because I don't want to make any mistake. Yeah, we all have problems. How do we attempt this to build confidence in our own intuition? Yes, first you look at it logically, practically. Okay? Combine that with your intuitive gut feeling. For some time, do not use your gut decisions. Okay? What you do is, probably you just make a note that I felt like this, and I just took this decision based on my logic. And then you will get a result. Then you find out whether you were right or wrong. Okay? So do this for at least 7 days. You have every day you have options, opportunities. Starts with your decision making for your breakfast. Then you'll know that whether that was welcomed or not. What did your gut say? Your gut said that nobody will eat it, but still it's simple and easy, so I made it. All kinds of things, in outputs, feedbacks are always there for you, all the time. So maintain this for 7 days just to make you feel that how right you are. And then just by journaling it, you will start believing yourself. That itself is enough. It's like when you're journaling your dreams in the morning, you will be able to recall your dreams more, right? It's exactly like that. Your intuitive power will increase like anything when you start doing this. And the more your thought process go towards listening to the voices, sounds, you will realize that actually you can hear a lot of things. Okay, we will do a small little process here for you to understand that. It may not be really a sound which the other person also would hear. No, it's not like that. It's a sound in your head. You feel as if you heard, but others wouldn't have. That's how it is. Okay. And then everything you will start realizing it. And then you will also feel that for you, how it comes. For you, whether what is that words it will be used. Usually those sounds are, it's a very calm and quiet sound. It is not like something which jumps up and it will make you get scared. It's never like that. It's never judging kind of a sounds also. They're very calm. It's like as if, oh, why didn't I think about it? Just now I thought I heard something. Okay, so I should think about it. That's how it is. Very calm. Okay. And about clairvoyant. What we dismiss as imaginations, they are not imaginations. But why we do not believe them? Because they're all metaphorical. They're like dreams. Do you believe your dreams in the night, what you see? No. Why? Because they're metaphorical. Meaning, whatever you're seeing is not the truth. The meaning of it is the truth. So naturally, whenever we are clairvoyant and when we see the images, we have to decode it. Since we cannot decode it, we'll say, my imagination. I can't believe that. Correct? That's how it is. That's why we can't believe it. Now, why don't you write about it? And then when it unfolds, you'll know that how you should be decoding your images. Right? Everything is about decoding. Everything is about writing down and testing yourself. If you do not have that patience, then you do not improve. You cannot improve it. There's no way you can improve. Now, the taste and the smell, that is a bit of a little bit of a, it's like how you associate. Whenever I smell, whenever I get this beautiful fragrance, means that's the right thing for me, then maybe that it is for you. So it's like training yourself to tune into that yes or no stuff or something like that, it will be. Or whenever you're thinking about something and you get this fragrance and that fragrance trigger an event in your head and that event is telling you something, maybe then you have to think about that. So fragrance and the taste is a little bit of difficult to decode. Or if it is for you, then you'll decode it very well. And clear knowing, that's there for all of us all the time. You don't have to put any effort on it. Except that if you do not want to believe it, then please go with logic also and compare with that, and you'll know that how many times you have become correct. Then you will start believing your own intuition. Okay. So with my experience, what I want to say is I am a very clairvoyant person. It's like a daydreaming. Okay. Clairvoyance means like as if like daydreaming. And each one of that you can decode. I could easily do that. But as that grew, when my attention went towards clairaudience, like why can't I hear it? then I started hearing too. But that is something like I switch on, then I will hear, then I switch off, then I don't hear anymore. Only when I enable it, but that is my focus. When it goes there, when I start thinking about it, it seems to happen. When I'm not, it doesn't automatically happen to me. And all of these intuitions also, you can switch on, switch off. When you don't want, you don't have to know anything about others. But about your own self, it naturally comes out. Okay? So, about body sensations and feeling the others' thoughts is also very natural for us, but there is a bit of a code of conduct. You're not supposed to tell this to anybody. You know, you can't just call them up and say, you know what, I felt like as if this is happening to you. Is that so? They will feel intruding in their life. You're not supposed to. Any of this, you have to keep quiet, because you're not very sure how you are interpreting is what they are feeling. Otherwise, I had a friend who used to dream the death of few other his family people, and he would see how they will die. So next day he would go or call them up and say that please don't go there, avoid this, or you know, whatever, go to your parents, etc. And it became so much so that whenever he calls, whenever he goes, people started thinking that he brings the news of the death. Nobody wanted him. So it's not a favor that you are trying to do anybody if you're not asked. So however strong is your intuition and power of clairs, keep it to yourself. Nobody wants that. Everybody wants a normal human being who could be dumb. Right? Unless we are asked. That is why we are not supposed to do even healing unless we are asked. Okay? So that is one discipline we all should have. Okay? Now, just to make our own life a little better, what we should do is, whenever we need to make a decision, we can always use the both things, like be logical and check your gut or intuition, and then make the decision. That'll be the best decision. In fact, that naturally happens, but then sometimes it doesn't when we are under pressure of others, right? Okay, so we will check what is our highest Clair power. And then I told you, like, every situation in your house, every situation you are in, you have to, you are doing it in an autopilot way now. But when you're aware of your intuition, you will be aware of what you're thinking, how it's coming to you. Very simple example. Tomorrow, what you're planning to cook as a breakfast in the morning, please think from where it is coming. How it is coming. Is it coming like a visual? Is it coming like a thought? It's because of others' thoughts, or it's just think that. That's what is that. And you have to extend a little bit like this. You meet somebody and you think that, oh, this person seems to be sad. Huh? What's happening? Okay, just check. Be quiet, then you'll know. Every time in your life, actually, you are so in your internal power. But of course, if you're too busy, you're all the time watching some Netflix thing, then you don't have your own time. How can intuition come out? That requires some amount of all the external factors are shut, and then you're thinking for yourself, right? That is the time your intuition can come up. Otherwise, your senses are involved in the external physical reality. That time there's no intuition. There's no need for the intuition. Although I'll tell you, whenever you're watching a movie, you kind of guess it, right? Oh, I think this guy's the one who's actually murdered, you know? You will get it right, don't you? And then you'll think that's because, you know, the subtle hints they're putting in them. Of course, that's the whole idea about entertainment industry. Use your own intuitions and enjoy it. But it's there, everywhere it is there. So we are also intuitive. And I don't know whether it's Pratima or somebody who said that I am not visual. She's very specific about when we are doing these meditations and process, she cannot visualize it. Right? And that is where we need to work on developing it. Because whatever I told is in the normal life, which everybody are doing. So when do we develop? When is wherever I am having problem, that is where I need to develop that. Okay. So how do we develop that? Is by using our own life. So start with, we will figure out what you're stronger, what you're not strong, we will figure out. But then whatever you are not strong, in the day-to-day life, whatever you encounter, extend that, invoke it, make it happen to you. Do you all understand when I'm saying that make it happen to you? Take example of, again, breakfast. Identify that is seen as a visual for you, or the aroma, or the taste, or someone is asking you, etc. Now, if you pay attention, then you'll know. So then that means you developed a little bit more. Okay. Apart from that, there are quite a few apps. Okay, one of the nice app is, I'll just tell you. It's like NASA had done, you know, how to check how the intuitive power changes or whatever that is. ESP trainer is one of that. And there is one Extra Sense, is a very nice video game which trains your intuition. So maybe you should try those. They will also give you statistics, analytics about how your intuition is increasing. That's another fantastic thing about these apps. They'll tell you how your intuition is increasing. And then you can see that, okay, are you really intuitive? You can check it out. Okay. So those are the things you can try. Okay, now let's do this process. Two process we will do. Okay. Okay, make yourself comfortable. Take one deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then just observe your normal breathing. So slowly just hear my voice, only my voice. And every other sound in the background is only making you to concentrate on my voice only. And then just scan your body from feet to head. Again, scan it from feet. Slowly observe your ankle, knees, thighs, stomach, chest, neck, face, and head. And just tell yourself, relax. Now, the more you are breathing, the more you're relaxing. And in this very relaxed state, your eyes are sealed shut. But you have the power to see through the closed eyes. Maybe you're going to use your mind's eye or the third eye. So wherever you're sitting, you know that room very well. I want you to scan the room with your closed eyes. Observe each of the objects. How they're placed, where they're placed. Are there any objects which are actually not there in this room, but somehow your mind is showing it? Do you feel the dust anyway? Do you feel anything in your body? Because it can sense the thoughts which are moving around in the room. If a thought is coming to you, or if a picture is coming to your mind, ask a question, why that? If your body is sensing, which part of the body and what kind of a sensation? And ask your question, why that? Is there any change in your mood? And what could be the reason for that? You smell something. All you have to do is pay attention to your smelling ability, and try to take a deep breath. You can smell everybody who's walked in and out of the room. It is like a sensor which is specifically sensing the smell. And what's that reminding you? Whom it is reminding you of? Are you able to imagine a food? But why? What's the reason that's coming to you? Are you able to taste it? Why you're thinking about this taste and this food? What's indicating? What is that indicating you? Are you able to hear any voices? If so, what does that invoke in you? Is it a sad feeling? Is it something nice? Maybe you'll remember somebody whom you spoke with earlier today. Why are you thinking about them? Are you sensing in them now? Okay. Let all the images go. Just think about tomorrow, which is 2nd of November. one room of your house, something there, or somebody is there, or it's about something. What is that? Think about it. And just make a mental note of it. Once it's done, again concentrate on your breathing and open your eyes when you're comfortable. Okay. So now is the feedback, chit-chatting time. How was the experience? What did you figure out about each of you? Everyone should tell. What did you figure out? And what is that thing which you were able to understand better? What was very strong for you? Okay, let's go with the checklist. Were you able to see your own room? Is there anyone here who couldn't see? Okay, nobody. I suppose everybody saw. Were you able to sense something in your body? It may be irrelevant, but did you? Where? iPhone says yes. So what did the iPhone feel? Throat. Okay. So the next question to the iPhone is, what did that throat feeling, did it invoke something? Some green color powder when you mention dust. Okay, and we all know that green color powder is not dust. So you need to decode. What did you feel about that? Did it invoke something, green color powder?
Stevia powder.
Little discomfort. Okay. iPhone is Ritika, is it? Okay, Ritika. So if you are able to decode for all of us, if you don't want to, you can say, no, I don't want to. What was the discomfort or disgust immediately through something, some image about yourself? Okay. So one is you are able to feel in your body. Second thing is you are able to see. Third, you felt, it gave you the thought that you are not decluttering well. You're getting my point? This is about the intuition. This is about decoding. And then I also said that there could be thoughts. Thoughts can travel 3,000 miles. So any thought can affect you if you catch it. So anybody was able to feel the thoughts. Many of the headaches are actually others' thoughts. You know, sometimes when we feel that this room is stuck, there is so much of stuck feeling here because there are too many thoughts. And many people are there, obviously many thoughts will be there, right? So if you're a person who can catch those, there'll be too many thoughts. Did anybody hear sound? Sound is a very little difficult aspect, at least for me, okay? I need absolute silence. Otherwise, my attention will go to all the sounds and everything. I will involve myself in the physical sensations, you know, the physical reality sounds, because it's raining here. So there's no way that I can hear other sounds. I will hear only rain. So sound is a little bit difficult. And sound many times happens when you are not expecting it. Okay. So when I was doing the shamanic, I'll come to you if Ritika, wait. When I was doing the shamanic course, throughout those 6 months, I was seeing the animals. It's like, one flash of time, I see something just running. That's how it becomes more sensitive, because you are in that mood. You are in that, right? So you will see it definitely. So all these intuitive clairs is you tune it. You have to tune it. When you tune it, it will start happening to you. I was tuned to this shamanic healing stuff during those 6 months, so it was very, very evident. Now, you do not ask me that, is that the truth? The spirit of the animals were there. Is that the truth? No, I want to believe it is what I'll say. You don't want to believe it if you don't want to believe it, but I want to believe it because that will give me a connection to something. But it's my choice. And how do I use that connection is also my own choice. So all of this intuition it's there, but it's your choice. And how do you make use of it is also your choice. And it's very natural to everybody. So I also told all of you that tomorrow, which is 2nd of November, visualize your one room of your house or something. What happened? Anybody would like to explain, share? None of you visualized your house tomorrow? It's impossible. You would have. It is like if I say, do not think about the elephant, do not think about red color.
I did.
Tell.
And when you mentioned one room, I imagined like I could see my room, and then you said someone or something, and I could just think of my curtain. That's it.
Okay. So let's see what's there for your curtain tomorrow. Maybe unknowingly you'll go stand there near that, or you'll think that maybe I should wash it. Something like that. Also, when I say that imagine your room, you might have imagined some other house, some room.
No,
That's
I
also
imagined my
possible.
room.
No,
only.
what I said is,
Yeah.
maybe
So
you might have thought about your parents' room. It could be anything. Now you said that's your room. In fact, when I was guiding all of you, this room looked totally different for me. I saw a different bookshelf, which is actually there in my grandfather's place. So I'm thinking like, why I thought about it. What is that invoking me in my head that I need to do? That's how the intuitions will come. They are always indicating something for you. When you give a chance, they will pop out. Right? It's like that. Any other question? All of you should. Yeah, tell me, Pala.
No, when you're talking about this, as you are guiding, suddenly my old house came into I'm not living in there anymore. I was at the T, it is the T junction, and I was standing at the T junction. I saw a wooden thing with a pulley, and I'm it's an archery, and on the other side is my husband, but of course, opposite the other side was a big park, and I'm shooting across, towards the park. And I was wondering in the, when I'm doing that, why am I doing this in the middle of the junction? Then after that, the thing changed. I don't know what to make out of it.
Observe what is the junction you're in. There is a junction which you need to make a decision or something. And one part of the junction, your husband is definitely standing. And there is something about it.
I am pulling a archery, an arrow shooting towards the park. So
Bullseye. There is something, it's a beautiful thing to decode. I'm tempted to decode, but you need to decode that. First, what you do is in your journal, write down the vision and
okay,
each of it, what it invokes to you, that either you need to address something or some good memory or something which is unfinished or something is taking your attention or something happened in that house which made you feel that you are on the, that house invokes you that event all the time, which made you stand in the junction. Junction is 4 roads basically, or 2 roads. So you are standing there and then like, it felt like when that event happened, you were in the junction. Some things like that, you need to decode it. But clairvoyant person is this. Images come which doesn't have any meaning, but you need to decode that.
Yeah, at one point when I was staying in that house, that from my house I can see a crematorium and things flies, my daughter has ever seen before. And my neighbors also have seen before. So I was in a fixed whether to, it's a very beautiful house, big house, but cannot stay there. You see? So I was, after 15 years, then we decided that's it. Then we shifted house. So, but why this intuition come at this point of time? I don't know.
No, that's what it is. Maybe you're thinking about, okay, so that was the junction. Should I go out? Should we live here? It is such a beautiful house, blah, 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 blah. So when we talked about house that came up, maybe you need to spend some time on it.
I was actually taking a stroll along the roadside near the park, on the side of the park. And suddenly, I was at the junction, and then suddenly the wooden pulley at about 1 meter long, and it's an arrow kind of thing with a pulley, you can pull with and an arrow is there. And I'm shooting the arrow towards the park
You
side.
are shooting the arrow.
Yeah. And my husband is looking at me from the other side of the road. So I was wondering, why am I doing this? In the intuition, I was thinking, why am I doing this? I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, decode it slowly. Okay. Arrow is always, we use arrow to point at something or to bullseye, to be precisely that kind of a thing. Why that pulley? And so just decode it. Maybe there are some few things which you needed to process in your head, which came out like this.
Okay.
Or observe in the coming few days what will unfold. Somebody will come and talk about it or something like that. Intuitions are also about the future events.
Okay. No, before the Deepavali, I was reading a message. They say on the new year, you must spend time meditating, must more spiritual, this and that. I was thinking, where the hell can we do this, where we have house people and all that. All of a sudden, I got something on, and then I traveled overseas for a bereavement. A few people died, so I went overseas. On the day of the Deepavali, I was actually at Isha Foundation meditating.
And you were meditating there.
The whole day I was in that place, I was wondering, I thought about it 2 days ago, and now I'm inside.
That's how it is. Exactly, that's how it is. So, see, this is a very clear example that we talked about the room we are sitting here, but Pala went somewhere else. This is what it is. That's what I'm trying to say. We are all very visual. We are all auditory. We are all everything actually. This whole session was to understand what we are very strong at, and maybe we were not like that 3-4 years back. Now we have become like that because we have done so many of these activities and process, and we have learned a lot of things. We have read a lot of things, and we have a tendency to like these kind of topics. That's naturally takes our focus into it, and it will make us develop these capabilities. If you're a therapist, definitely you need to develop all of this. Very fact that you become a therapist is because of that only. You just need to believe it. Right? Okay. So the homework for all of you is develop your intuition. That's it. That's the homework. And maybe next week we'll think how people got there. Just the very fact that we've all spoken today, see your change in just the next day. You will be so much aware of yourself, your clairs, your intuition level. Okay? Okay, anybody has any question, or we are good to go? Okay, bye then. Take care. Have a nice week ahead.